Hi everyone, and happy Mental Health Awareness Month. Since I've been off from YouTube for long stretches of time, I thought it'd be nice to introduce myself to anyone watching. Many of the manga tubers I admire have already participated in Christy Lou's MangaTube tag, so I thought, what's stopping me from doing the same? Well, actually, I do know what's stopping me. I'm always so awkward when speaking, especially when it comes to self introductions and icebreakers, but we're in too deep, so let's do it. Question number 1: Introduce yourself. I've actually never said my username out loud, so I have no idea if it should be Reversey or Reversey, but please feel free to call me that or Mim, which is a nickname from my grandma. I like cats and flowers and ice cream and the color pink, but seriously, I'm a very average person with a very boring full-time office job. So as you can imagine, hobbies like manga are what make the rest of my life interesting. I started this channel because I wanted a platform to talk about my interests and document my journey in collecting and reading manga. I also really wanted to find people with similar tastes so that we could gush over our favorite things together. Question number 2: When did you start reading manga? The first time I read manga was in grade 5. Both of my parents were busy working, so throughout elementary school I spent a lot of time in libraries. But I always stayed in the kids section. The teen section looked cool, but I was so terrified of actually being near a teenager. I remember one day the teens weren't in the library, so I scoped things out, which is how I found out about graphic novels. And the first manga I picked up was Chibi Vampire. I think I started with volume 3 or something because I had no idea what was going on, but I was so fascinated that teenagers got to read picture books, and that these picture books were in black and white. Unfortunately, my fear of teens did not go away in grade 5, so I didn't read much more then. But I do remember reading some other manga like The Demon Ororon and Demon Diary. Maybe I had a thing for the occult. In middle school, it became super uncool to read manga or watch anime, so other than my obsession with Toonami, I have repressed most of those memories. I can't, however, resist giving a special mention to Naruto. Naruto was so crucial to my life in middle school, and a large part of the reason why I kept reading manga and watching anime. Some of my favorite memories are watching the anime and reading the manga with my mom and sister. My mom still tells me that I need to learn how to communicate better because she doesn't want me to have a strained relationship like Itachi and Sasuke, which is both so funny and so sweet. To wrap things up here, in high school someone recommended the manga Mars, and another friend recommended Katekyo Hitman Reborn, so that was when I first learned about demographics in manga and started to figure out my tastes. Question number 3: What is your favorite genre? Nowadays I mostly gravitate towards slice of life, boys love, or historical manga. But I love any manga that features friendship, found family, animals, food, magic or magical realism, mental health, and following one's dreams. All of the good stuff. I also really like sports and mystery. I used to read a ton of shoujo, primarily high school romance, and a ton of battle shonen, and I do kind of want to go back to my roots. Question number 4: How do you read manga? Pretty much in every way. I started off reading manga physically. I really love having a physical collection of books I love because I love surrounding myself with my favorite things. I'm also quite prone to headaches when I look at screens, so printed media is the way to go. But lately, despite that, a lot of my reading is digital on platforms like Shonen Jump, Futekiya, Renta, or just buying digital copies of manga. This is mostly out of convenience because I can read while being burritoed in bed. I also read a lot of webcomics on Legend, TappyToon, Webtoon, Tapas, and WeComics. Question number 5: Your favorite manga? Wow, this is both really easy and really tough to answer. It's easy in that I freely love so many manga and could name many favorite titles, and I will. And it's tough in that at some point maybe I should narrow down my favorites a little bit or else I will ramble for hours. My all-time favorite manga are, surprise surprise, Noragami, Princess Jellyfish, and Natsume's Book of Friends. These particular titles have withstood the test of time and have been pivotal to my life for many years now, particularly as I entered adulthood. I remember when I first started reading Noragami, I so desperately wanted friends like Yato and Hiyori. I had so much fun reading it. And then when university started to become so stressful that I could barely recognize myself, Noragami also became one of the series that kept me grounded. I remembered how much fun I had reading it before, and that just reminded me that there was more to life than what stressed me out. I don't even remember why I originally decided to buy it one day, but I'm still so thankful that I did. I've reread it countless times, but it just hasn't lost its charm. With Princess Jellyfish, I actually do remember how I found out about it. I was on Tumblr and someone shared a screen cap of Tsukimi in the first dress she made, and the caption was the opening lines of the manga, that all girls can grow up to be princesses. I distinctly remember being speechless. The idea that all girls, the ones who are not conventionally attractive, the ones who are super duper nerdy, the ones who just don't want to fit in, are princesses is so simple to say, but it really touched my heart, especially at a time in my life when I felt anything but special. The whole manga is so funny, empowering, and touching, and I really need to reread it ASAP. I kind of hesitated to mention Natsume's Book of Friends as a favorite manga since I am much more familiar with the anime, but after spending the last couple months reading the manga, it's just irreplaceable in every form. Maybe I'm double dipping, but who cares? In so many ways, this manga saved my life. It's helped me grow emotionally, it's helped me form stronger relationships with the people in my life, and I constantly go back to it when I need a break from my life. Other dearly cherished manga in my life are Chihaya Furu, All My Darling Daughters, Orange, A Man and His Cat, Blue Period, BL Metamorphosis, Kaze Hikaru, Yuki and Matsu, and Twittering Birds Never Fly. Two of my favorite manga that haven't been licensed in English yet are Tomodachi no Hanashi and Honey Lemon Soda. Some of these titles are recent reads and ongoing, but when something is special, you just know. There are also some manga I prefer as anime, like Full Metal Alchemist, Barakamon, Silver Spoon, and Space Brothers. Like Natsume's Book of Friends, I'm sure once I read more of the manga, some of these could end up as my favorite manga as well. The list just goes on and on and on. Question number 6. What types of videos do you make? Wow, what types of videos do I make? I try not to think too much about this, I just make videos about whatever strikes my fancy and whatever I personally would enjoy watching. If I feel like making a manga haul one month, I will. If I don't, I won't. All of my videos in April, for example, were about danmei and not manga because I just really wanted to talk about it and I couldn't hold it in. But my next video will likely be a manga review or haul because now I want to talk about the manga I've read recently. Ever since I returned to YouTube, I have spent a bit of time trying to figure out and plan what kind of videos I want to make again. In general, I do enjoy making manga hauls and unboxing or look-through videos. In the past, I used to love making short vlogs, but I didn't really feel comfortable doing that during the pandemic. Now that more people are getting vaccinated, I think I will try making manga shopping vlogs a little more often. Reviews have always been sporadic on my channel because I don't feel confident in articulating my thoughts in an eloquent and intelligent way, but because I do want to get better at expressing myself, in the future I do want to make more manga reviews. I don't think I'll ever dive into the world of analysis videos, but I do want to try and make some sort of discussion video about my favorite series, authors, or characters. I also want to incorporate more webcomics and more recommendation videos. I have also thought about incorporating some of my other hobbies into this channel, but since an upcoming question is about hobbies, I'll try to elaborate more there. Question number 7. What do you hope people will get out of your channel? I think time is one of the most precious things we have, and when I keep that in mind, I am so thankful for each and every view I get on my channel because that's time you've given to me. So when I think about what I want people to get out of my channel, my only hope is that you don't feel like you've wasted your time here. Whether you're here because you need a distraction, because you want a recommendation, or because you enjoy who I am, I hope the time you spend with me is time spent well. I absolutely love reading comments from people, whether it's them saying they'll check out something I mentioned or that they agreed with what I said. I created a channel so that I could have a space to talk about my slew of interests, but I would love for my channel to also be a space for you to share your interests with me. I do have hopes for what I want to get out of my channel. I hope I can get better at expressing myself. I hope I always have fun making videos and that YouTube doesn't ever become a source of anxiety. I hope I can edit my videos better, and I hope I can continue making videos that I'm proud of. Question number 8. What hobbies do you have outside of manga? I have a number of hobbies outside of manga, which is both so fulfilling and so terrible for my wallet and time management. Like I touched on earlier, outside of reading manga, I also enjoy reading webcomics and danmei novels. Lately, I've also really enjoyed reading fanfiction. And my main hobby outside of reading is Korean pop music, or K-pop. I love listening to music, going to concerts, and collecting albums. In case you're wondering, my alt group is without a doubt BTS. And outside of K-pop, I really like finding new artists to listen to in any genre. My other big hobby is learning languages. I learned Japanese in university, for example, because I just wanted to read more manga. Right now, I'm studying Korean and Mandarin. I also like watching movies and dramas, I like painting and oil pastels, I love researching skincare. I used to love going to the gym, and hopefully I can start doing that again post-Rona. Overall, I just really enjoy trying out new things, so one could say my hobby is also collecting hobbies. I hinted at this earlier, but lately I've been toying with the idea of making a new channel for my other hobbies, but now I wonder if I can add them to this channel. On one hand, I am just one person, and running one channel is easier than running two, but on the other, I actually sort of like compartmentalizing, and I wonder if adding non-manga or non-book content would somehow take away from this channel and what I've created so far. If you have any thoughts or ideas about this, I would really appreciate them. You're also more than welcome to let me know that I'm completely overthinking things. Question number 9. What is next up on your to-read list? I've pretty much read everything I own, so my physical TBR at home is at 0, but some series that I've only read a volume or two of and want to continue are A Bride's Story, The Girl from the Other Side, Arakawa Under the Bridge, Requiem of the Rose King, Go with the Clouds North by Northwest, Magus of the Library, and Yona of the Dawn. I want to read as much manga as possible while I'm alive, so some series that I want to start as soon as possible are Prince Freya, Love Me for Who I Am, everything by Fumi Yoshinaga that I haven't read yet, starting with What Did You Eat Yesterday, everything by Taiyo Matsumoto that I haven't read yet, starting with Ping Pong, Escape Journey, The Apothecary Diaries, and One Piece. A genre I want to explore is Girls Love. I also want to check out more smaller indie publishers and alternative manga. Question number 10. What are you looking for in other manga channels? I don't have a preference for the type of content I watch. I'm more particular about the type of person running the channel. If I think you sound like someone I could have a conversation with, you could make a 2-hour manga haul or a 2-second blurry video shot in portrait mode about chewing gum, and I would eat it up, no questions asked. On the flip side, if I don't think I vibe with someone and they fail the vibe check, I won't watch their videos regardless of what they post. What I usually do on YouTube is I will search for manga, manga hauls, or manga reviews, then sort by upload date and just go through everything, usually while I'm at work. So chances are, if you've ever uploaded any sort of manga video, I have watched it. In general, however, I gravitate towards people who are passionate, engaging, and sound interesting. People who spend 5 minutes gushing about their favorite new pickup, or people who critique a series they thought was garbage, or people who are just funny or sound thoughtful in their videos. There is one exception to this. I am always interested when I see any of my favorite manga in a thumbnail, particularly Noragami. Some of my favorite people to watch these days are Takuto, Simply G, Immortalium, Your Bald-Headed Senpai, Bizarre Individual, Laura A. Grace, Gear Third Manga Reviews, My Manga Space, T-Bry, Hobbies of a Man, Shay Geeks Out, and That Manga Kid. Seriously, once I start listing anything, I literally cannot stop. I'm constantly watching manga videos, and the list of people I admire accordingly gets longer and longer, but I hope this gives you an idea of the channels I always enjoy. And with that, I am finally done with all of the questions. I hope you enjoyed getting to know me better, and I'm sorry for rambling a touch too long at any point. It's just so much fun to talk about what I love. I'm really curious about your answers to these questions as well, whether that's through your own video or in a comment, so consider yourself tagged. And if you ever want to talk to me or ask questions about anything I mentioned today, please feel free to do so. As always, I hope you have a good day today and that tomorrow is even better. See you next time.